All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thought for Thursday. I'm really happy to be here tonight, and I hope that you are too. I really appreciate you tuning in. Forgive me, I think I'm looking okay right now. I got new lights, and I'm getting used to them. I think I like them. But anyway, I'm glad to be with you here tonight. Happy Thursday. Happy almost end of the year. Hard to envision that we're at that point, but we are. It is close to the end of the year. My goodness, just a few more days. And I tell you, at points this week, I thought about it and I said, I remember exactly what I was doing this time last year, saying the same thing. We're almost at the end of the year. How quickly time flies, right? How quickly time flies. But here we are. It is the end of the year. And like so many people out there, I too am reflecting and determining what it is that I'm doing next year. I've already put some plans in motion and already started working on a few things so that some projects that I want to pull together and have to release next year will be ready to be released. So, one thing that I have learned in the past couple of years is the importance of setting up the goals and setting up your objectives that are in direct support of your vision. So at this time of the year, everybody's doing a vision board, right? We have vision board parties, we have sip and vision board, we have get online and do your vision board, we have get your book from Amazon and do your vision board, and maybe not even do a vision board, do a vision picture, do a vision wall. It has just taken on really a fun perspective and really some fun things that we now do when we're creating what it is that we want to look at during the year to ensure that we're actually hitting our mark, right, with the vision. But what I want us to really be careful of in all of the excitement and all of the party planning and all of the gathering with the girlfriends is that you really want to work on a vision, okay? You really want to work on developing a vision or developing a plan for where you're going. All right. So, not developing the vision, but working on a plan for where you're going and how you're going to meet that vision. And in order to do that, you gotta have a vision, folks. Yeah, you gotta have something to work with. You can't just go and take your board and spend some time, like I said, hanging out with girlfriends and putting your pictures up there and saying, "Oh, this is so much fun. I'm so glad we got together." You can do that if that's what you desire to do. But if you really want to create an effective product that's going to help you to hit your goals for next year, then you are going to have to spend some time in actually determining what your vision looks like. You're going to have to write it down. You're going to have to know exactly what it is that you want to hit. Now, don't get scared. If you're anything like me, I frequently say, I don't know what my goal, what I really, really want to do, but I know what I don't want to do. But what I'm saying is, you have got to have a general idea of what direction you want to go in. And sometimes that's not the easiest thing. And I don't want you to feel beat up about it. But I do want to make you aware that it has to be done. And there's some tips that we have, or some tips that I know have worked that will actually help you in developing that vision. All right. So let's talk about just a few of them in just the few minutes that we have. So you're going to figure out exactly what it is that you want to put down as your vision. What's a first step that you might want to take? For starters, you want to be sure that you're open minded. Be open minded when you sit down and decide, I'm going to figure out. Well, that's not for starters. There's first of all, before you do that, yes, have an open mind, but you need to make sure that you allot some time in your schedule to sit down and do nothing but reflect. When I say that that is a major thing that you need to do, and I'm sorry, I'm over here on Instagram and I'm not so sure that it went the way that it was supposed to. But when I say that it is a major thing that you need to do, it is absolutely major. You can't just sit around and decide, I'm going to pull something together, halfway think it through, because you're not going to be very effective. You're going to have a vision that may very well, sometime in the middle of the year or even a couple of weeks into the year, you feel like, I'm not so sure that that is exactly how I was supposed to approach this, nor am I certain that that is what I was supposed to do at all, if I'm even in the ballpark. So sit down, spend some time where you're reflecting on the things that you really desire to do. What is it that you want to accomplish overall? You could have a vision that involves different pieces of things. Your vision may be to be healthier in the new year. That may be a part of your vision. It may be a part of your vision statement, which could say something like, in 2023, I want to work more, identify exactly what it is I need to do that involves my purpose. And while I'm pursuing my purpose, I want to also be able to become financially fit, physically fit, and emotionally fit. That could be a vision. I just threw it out there. But what I wanted you to see is it had more than one or two pieces to it, but all together it comprised your vision, right? So you write that down and then you be open minded in how it is that you're going to pursue that. Frequently, we fail at doing things that involve our vision because we feel as though it can only be done in a certain way. We can only pursue it like John pursued his because he was successful. We can only pursue our vision in the way that grandma pursued hers because, she taught me so much. And I know that if she was successful in, realizing her vision, then surely if I follow her process, I can do it. I'm not saying that that's not true. That very well may be the case. However, you have to realize that your vision is your vision, and the pursuit for actually accomplishing that, you have to determine how you're going to do that. You can take advice from others, particularly those who are knowledgeable about the things that you want to accomplish. I highly recommend that you take advice from them. But do not get bogged down in trying to compare a process that you think should work for you because it worked for someone else successfully. Be open minded in how you're going to approach your vision. Something else you want to do, write down your notes. Keeping it up here in your head. Scripture tells us to write the vision and make it plain. All right. There's something about having that thing on paper, seeing it, putting it somewhere where you can look at it on a regular basis. Yeah, you may memorize it as well, but there's something about reading what you've written down. There's something about a bigger commitment to it when you remember that, hey, I put this in my journal in the beginning of the year and tore it out and stuck it on the refrigerator and put it up in the bedroom, put it in the car, made copies. And that in and of itself is helping you to remember that this is important. This is something that I really need to do. So write it down, make it plain, just as the scripture says. You may not have all of the angles and how you're going to reach it, but you have it written down, and that went in and of itself creates a commitment for you to be able to get that thing done. All right. Something else, be honest. Be honest with yourself about the choices that you've made that were diversions in the past. All right. Some of us, it's not our first time writing a vision. And yeah, it's not our first time not hitting it, and trying to figure out, well, what we did wrong. And very well may have been in how we set up goals and objectives. And then it very well may have been us just not following through on those goals and objectives to get to our vision. So you want to be honest with yourself. Don't discount a vision saying it's not going to work. Obviously, it wasn't for me to follow through, when in essence, you didn't do your part to see how that thing was supposed to come to fruition. Ah, saying that not just for you guys, but trust me, for me too. Been there, done that. frequently have to fight not to do it, because it's easy to just kind of sit back and, when things don't work, and be like, oh, well, that wasn't the right vision anyway. That's not necessarily true. It isn't always going to come about easily, but if it is indeed the thing that you are supposed to do, you definitely want to stay dedicated to it. So don't try and avoid it because it didn't work before, or maybe you didn't do your work before. Realize that you're creating a diversion, all right? Accept it, admit it, roll with it, and then go for it. I already talked about this. You're going to set goals. You are going to set goals to meet those objectives. It may have to be a weekly goal. For example, if it's something that involves physical fitness and you're trying to get something, done for the year, reach a milestone with physical fitness for the year, you'll need to break that down into months, depending on where you are mentally, depending on what your schedule looks like, that's going to allow you to do those things that you need to do to remain fit. You may have to break things down by the hour. If you're anything like me, you may have to start planning what you're going to do the minute you wake up, so that you don't start thinking about eating the wrong things and going downstairs to get them. Okay. Yeah, that's where I am. No shame. No shame. And I don't want to see any shade out there either. But that is what you have to do. Set those goals so that you can be sure that you're doing what you need to do so that you can hit them. And then extend yourself some grace, guys. So when you miss it, please don't beat up yourselves. Know that, as the scripture says, grace and mercies are new every morning. Okay. You get to start all over again trying to make it right. Trust me, I count on mine. All right. I look for mine, pray for them, and count on them. So extend yourself some grace if you don't hit those goals, but set those goals and objectives for sure if you want to even think about being successful. I already talked about this a little bit also. Post what you want to see where you see them, or what you want, what your aspirations are. Post it where you can see them. All right. Don't let the fact that you live with other people in your house deter you if that's going to be able to help you to hit your vision. Put it in different places. Now, there may be some things you don't want everybody to know, and yeah, maybe you don't want to post those in open view. But the things that you really, may need some support in hitting, even post it on the refrigerator, post it on, like I said already, in the car. Make a sticky, make a keychain. Do something so that it is always in your face as a reminder that this is what you're trying to accomplish. The more you see it, it's written down, and the more you see it, all of those things are going to work together to make sure, or put you in a better position to actually get to the place where you want to get with your vision. And then, of course, after you've done your homework, a vision board is an awesome tool for helping you in hitting your vision. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to do, but I wanted you to be cognizant of the fact that, yes, it's a fun activity. You have a lot of fun. I've had some of the best evenings, sitting down with friends and even family and writing out vision products. But if you really want it to be effective, you have to make sure that you're serious about what you're putting down there, and that you seriously want, or you have a vision that you're actually in pursuit of. You're not just there for arts and crafts, okay? Even though arts and crafts can be the most relaxing activity ever, particularly in a chaotic world as we're living right now. Music and arts and painting and all that can be very relaxing. All right? I'm not saying don't do it. But make sure, if you want to put together an effective vision board, you work hard on establishing the vision that you are creating that board for. All right. A couple other things. Decide, first of all, if in that vision you are really living the place where you can bring that vision to fruition. Now, what do I mean by that? Are you living in the right place? If you have a vision, for example, and I mean, this is definitely extreme. If you have a vision to go to Antarctica and set up a business within the next 3 months and have a staff of about 50 people working in a business where you are, ice fishing, and you don't know the first thing even about a rod or the tools needed for ice fishing, much less going to Antarctica and setting up a business. Again, extreme example. But that person who desires to do that, yeah, they're not living in the right place. That vision's not going to come to fruition. I don't want to nix it, who knows, if it's supposed to happen, I guess it could. But in other words, be realistic when you are setting up your vision. I'm a person of faith. I know that God can do anything. So I don't want to discount anything, but I also want to stress the importance of being realistic when you're establishing, when you're putting down those goals, being realistic about actually what you want them to do. And I thought I had another thing, and I guess maybe not oh, make make your life vision a priority. Make it a priority. That was the last thing I wanted to say, and it is so, so important. Why is it so important? All the vision boards, all the writing of the goals that you do, all of the time that you sit down to figure out exactly what it is you want to accomplish, that means absolutely nothing if you're not serious about actually bringing that vision to fruition. You've got to make it a priority. To be serious about it, it's got to be a priority in your life. Now, it's not always easy to make the goals, the objectives, the things that you need to do in pursuit of your vision. It's not always easy to make it a priority. And it may require changing some mindsets, mindsets who have lived in different environments in the past, trying to break free of a scarcity mindset is what's needed. If you are talking about trying to, gather something or grow something, you may have to break down a scarcity mindset and make that thing a priority. If you're talking about, working more and exercising more, doing different things, well, then absolutely, you're going to have to make it a priority to get to the gym. You're going to have to make it a priority to get to the grocery store to pick up the kinds of foods that you need. So it may not always be easy when you're getting off from work and you have to go pick up kids or you have to take somebody to basketball practice. It may not always be easy to come home and sit down and eat the right things when you're getting in the house, say at 9 o'clock. So that's a shift that you have to create. You have to make that vision a priority and pre plan so that you can have that meal in front of you when you get home, just as an example. So that when you get home, rather, you don't have to fight for it or try and figure out what you're going to cook or have to go to the grocery store. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, there are things that I am not going to do. And this is after years of trying to make things a priority and realizing that I'm going to hit those same obstacles, particularly when you have people in your house at a certain age and 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they have activities, and you have to plan so that you can make sure that you allot some time in there for yourself because you are going to be committed to getting them to where they need to go. You have to create a commitment also to make sure that you get the things that you need so that while you're taking care of them, you're not falling behind in your health. And of course, your vision also for what it is you want to do. We can go into that another night because all of that is self care as well. Okay, that's a whole different ball game and something that we need to talk about too. But anyway, yes, Kizzy said, mindset is important, and she would know. She talks about the limitless possibilities that you have, and the importance of making sure you have the mindset that supports that. So that is it. We've gone a little over, but I know that these are such important things, particularly as we're getting excited about doing things at this time of the year. We're going to create that vision board and have that vision board party. Make your vision a priority. Make your vision a priority. You want to be sure that this year, going forward in 2023, you are going to set yourself in the best possible light so that you can indeed hit those things that you want to hit. All right? And that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening in and for watching with me. I know I'll be back on at some point, but in case I miss you, I pray that you have an absolute safe, wonderful, enjoyable weekend as we approach the new year, and praying for great things to happen for you in the new year, for 2023 to absolutely blow your mind in the things that are going to happen. And in order for it to do that, you've got to plan. You've got to have a good vision in place. You've got to stay connected with God to ensure that you are moving in the right direction. And you have to give your absolute all to ensure that you are pushing towards the goal and you are going to have a better likelihood of actually hitting it. All right. That's it. You guys go out there, be bold, be audaciously confident in who you are. Remember, it is never too late to level up or to reinvent and rise. So make sure that you keep those things in mind, knowing that you were fearfully and wonderfully made with an imprint that's only like you, and the world needs it. Go out and touch something, all right, and make a difference. You guys have a good evening. Happy New Year, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye-bye.